Welcome back, guys, to the Play On Podcast. This is episode number 121. Bittersweet. Spain won the World Cup. My goat Messi lost again, but it's all fine. Fine and dandy. Yeah, it's pretty much like a whole new generation of footballers that are coming up in Spain. They're just in a dominant run, Jesse. Do you think they could repeat it and win the Euro again? And try to replicate
Uh,
that one 2008, 11, 2008, 10,
10,
12?
12. Yeah. Um, who knows?
Because they still have a
Cause
lot of young players.
yeah, it just depends on how um they replace the spots that for players that potentially might not be there. Cause in the starting lineup, we could go over. Rodri's 30. He's in the 2 years. Who knows if he'll be at the same level he's currently at? So how they can replace that?
With a lingering
Oyarzabal,
injury, too.
yeah. Oyarzabal at the forward spot. They've struggled at striker a lot. They've He's been the consistent presence for them because last time it was Morata that was there, and now it's Oyarzabal. So I'm not sure if he'll keep his spot or if they'll go with someone else because he did during the final he was replaced by Ferran Torres, and then center back they have Laporta or Laporte,
Mm-hmm.
and
La
he
Porta,
is
because
also
he's
older.
Spanish now.
Yeah, so who knows if they'll well they have replacements, but yeah they should be able to set up for a next run. But it's how the leadership changes because
Yeah.
it looks like Rodri is a very big presence in the locker room and he has a big leadership spot. So depending on how that changes, it could change the dynamic of the midfield because the midfield was the most important part of Spain's run.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who replaces him as a CDM. Maybe Zubimendi, but again, you don't really see him. Like, he could probably replace him somewhat on the field, but like you said, that leadership, it's hard to replace. You probably need someone from like these younger kids to step up. Pauco Garcia, I do not see him doing it because he's kind of like a reserve guy. Um, Maybe a Pedri, but even then, it's like it's still not Rodri.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like from the current crop, or maybe who knows? Because sometimes players develop that. Some people aren't born with it, but they can, work towards it. But from the current crop, there doesn't seem like someone that's like in the same mold of like they're they're willing to take up that mantle. Some people will, but I feel like that's just a different type of leadership.
Yeah. But yeah, they still have a lot of young players. Pauco Garcia won the best young player of the tournament. Not a huge surprise because based on the tournament he had, but it's definitely a huge surprise because none of us predicted it to go to a young center back.
Yeah, because most people expected, or even us, we expected it to be like midfielder and above, because that's usually who gets the accolades, because they get the flashy stats, the GA, the goals, the assists. But this year, a lot of the young players fell off in the earlier rounds, so and plus they didn't put enough big enough, I want to say, stats to overrun the Paco Garcia, especially considering Spain's defensive record.
Yeah, I don't know if I forgot which site. I don't know if it was FootMob or SofaScore, but the whole defense was Spain. Cucurella, Laporte, uh, Cubarci,
Or
and Pedro Porro.
and Pedro Porro, yeah.
Yeah, like that defense is just crazy, and it's crazy to think too. Like Spain did this without with players out of form. Like Baena was not their most important player, but he provided somewhat of a defensive effort. Oyarzabal, like he didn't have his Euro run. He just had like a standard run. I think Dani Olmo had like an underrated World Cup. He played pretty good, especially when he finally got the starting spot. He was very dynamic, but again, he didn't put up huge numbers. Lamine, again, not the best World Cup, but it worked. He worked towards it with the group. But yeah, we could only imagine what Spain could do in the later years when their players are actually in form. Like same thing with Nico Williams. We didn't get to see him on the field because again, just constantly dealing with injuries.
Yeah, and I think, like we said, it's just they're lacking in forward because their high school scorer was Oyarzabal, and he had 5 goals. And then I think Lamine had what, 2 or 1?
He had. I know he scored the second game is back, but that's either one or I think 1 or 2 goals, but then like a couple of
Yeah,
assists as well.
they didn't have like a high scoring
They,
like tournament.
yeah, they weren't a France. They weren't. I think even Argentina was kind of high scoring, but it was
Yeah, they mostly
it was a pretty good well rounded team. That's what it was.
yeah, it was just that the some of the parts were better than the single piece. That was what they were basically were this tournament. They were overall better as a team than anyone else, and then the midfield took complete control. And then defensively, they were very solid. That even though there was questions about who was going to be number one, and Unai Simon was there, and some people questioned him, he wasn't really called upon to do much. I think I saw the stat that he only had 10 saves throughout the tournament because that was how much he was called upon. So yeah, they didn't let the risk get close to their goal at all.
Yeah, again, it is all just, it's not even just the defense. It's also like the midfield and the attackers who help press and recover the ball to not even put the goalie in dangerous way. Probably the most dangerous match they had was the first one, and versus Cape Verde. But ever since then, it wasn't too much of a hassle. Even in the Portugal game, like maybe one or two off chances. I know the Bernardo Silva one at the end of the game was dangerous, but even then, that wasn't on target. So he wasn't
Yeah,
really called upon.
I would say the most dangerous game in the knockouts was the Portugal game, and that was early on. Everything else was mostly handled that they weren't like really pressed. They had control of like all the other games where there wasn't really any chances to concede. Uh, Even in the final, they like Argentina basically were in their own third, and then they couldn't even when they were on the attack, they couldn't like spring like three passes together. They had as soon as they would try to pass it, they would lose it, and then Spain would have control all over again.
Yeah, they just kept. It shows a lot of effort when it comes to like the defensive effort from Oyarzabal, because we mentioned it, how you mentioned how Spain was gonna dominate the midfield, and that's what they did. But not only what they did it with their midfielder, they also did it with their attackers. Like Lamine was pressing, and even Oyarzabal and Baena. So how are you gonna dominate the midfield at that point when all those players are recovering the ball and even dropping back to start connecting passes? So it was impossible for Argentina to even do anything. And then even when they were attacking, they were just they kept getting isolated. And I don't know if you noticed, like during the game, like Argentina was forced to play a lot on the left side, just because on the right side they covered it well. Baena was covering Messi, and then say Messi did get the ball, they fouled him right away. They didn't want to give him any chances. So and it wasn't like he had a lot of touches either, and like during the full 90, it was the very slow, very small touches he did have. It was just ended in a foul. So they had a game plan. They executed perfectly. I know they didn't want it to go to extra times, but shout out to Enzo Fernandez. He kind of made it a lot easier for Spain for that stupid red card. I'm not even gonna say silly. It's stupid. Because I was talking to Edu. I'm like, how would you're on a yellow? I get what he was trying to do. It's a 50-50 ball, but when you're on a yellow, you can't go for that. You can't go for that 50-50 because if again Cubarsí won it, and then he just flipped them and knocked them out, and then tried to protest saying it wasn't, and then he dove, but no, he killed them. He had him doing
Yeah,
a 360.
I, I wouldn't even. I would say that was his second mistake because the first yellow was even a bigger mistake because it was from dissent.
Yeah, throwing his
Like
arm at the referee.
like that's even like that was mistake number one, and the mistake two was the second yellow. Like how are you? What's going through your head that you're making these types of mistakes in the final? Like you got to control your emotions too, because I think the second one's even worse because or like could be equally bad because you already know you're on the yellow, and the first one was because of the sense, and yet you're still losing your head and going for these type of tackles.
And it was a
And it's
minute
like,
before extra time.
yeah, it was like a 89th minute. Yeah, it was like,
No, it was 90 plus, like 92nd minute or something. But it's dumb. I talked about it in the preview, saying like, oh no, Argentina has experience of being in the World Cup final. They'll be smart about it. They'll make it rough. Like that was the most childish thing he could have ever done. I think that's when they threw away the game. Because yeah, sure, Spain was dominating, but like they were still struggling because Dibu Martinez was having a great game. But then right there, like that happened, you threw away the game because both your center backs got injured. Um, your attack was impotent.
Was Romero injured? I just thought he got subbed
No,
out on the
no,
extra time.
yeah, he got injured. He couldn't play anymore. So both center backs
Mhm.
were injured. Molina, for some reason, he got subbed out.
No, he subbed in.
No, not Molina. Yeah, yeah. He subbed in for what's it called,
Montiel.
Montiel, because Montiel was having a decent game. He wasn't having a bad game. Defensively, he was doing pretty well. But then he subbed him out. But then Tagliafico at like in extra times, he couldn't run anymore. He was exhausted. So at the end, they ended up playing with 9 players, just because
No,
the red card and then or 10 players. Yeah, 9 players because the red card and then Tagliafico he couldn't do anything. He can't run anymore. So he was literally just limping around in the field.
yeah, but that was Argentina's coach 'cause he immediately started making subs quickly and substituting out and for very defensive subs.
Yeah, I mean again he was kind of forced for the defensive ones, but yeah, it just shows how many minutes Argentina played already. That we kind of called it, saying that this side of the bracket was going to win because Argentina has too many minutes in this World Cup, and with old legs.
Yeah, but that's on them because they would let themselves go into extra times.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not defending them, like saying it's
Yeah.
like that's an excuse, but no, it's on them. Like, what is it? All their games was like they had to push it to the end. The England game,
Cape Verde.
the Cape Verde, the one that's the only one that's one of the ones that went extra time, right? Or
Hmm.
and then the Egypt game as well.
I think that finished
It finished in
regular,
the
but that
90,
was
but even then they had to fight for every ball because they were down
yeah.
2-0.
Which one was the first?
Then the
I
Switzerland
can't
game.
remember. Yeah, yeah, that was like I can't remember which
Again,
one it was.
another extra time when they had one man up and they couldn't finish the game in the 90. So it was just on them. They this we kind of saw it coming too because it's similar to the 2018 World Cup final where Croatia played how many 3 extra times, and it just killed them at the end and just couldn't it didn't help them at all. Again, that France squad was amazing, but still like it doesn't help you when you're already exhausted.
Yeah, but also I felt like the game plan was completely wrong
Yeah,
because, like I said, Spain we knew that they can control the midfield, but instead of like trying to counter that, they just went for a standard 4-4-2 and then sort of let them have the ball. But then instead of trying to take the ball away, they were just letting them have the ball. But that's even worse because you know how they say you get tired physically and mentally because they were just chasing the ball around for 90 minutes. So that drains you even more.
yeah, it definitely did. So I don't know. If I was Argentina coach, no, I don't even think you could save this. Because again, you don't expect your 2 center backs to go down. You don't expect Endo Fernandez to do something stupid. And honestly, I thought Paredes was gonna get the red card because you
He
saw
should have.
the stupid yellow card he got.
Yeah, as soon as he came in and immediately hit Rodri. Well, but that was what they were doing to try to put them off from having the ball because they were trying to uh, sort of let them know that they're there. So whenever they have the ball, they would like look around and try to get like afraid of them coming and hit them. But Spain, like I said, they weren't afraid of that. They were like, okay, are you coming? I'll get rid of the ball quicker than you have time to hit me.
Yeah. Um. Man. Even then, I think Spain could have. They had a couple of defensive errors. Not defensive, but like playing the ball out. Like Pau Cubarsí, he played it short a couple times to Unai Simon. Same thing. Unai Simon was holding onto the ball for too long and could have been a mistake. But again, everything was on their side. They played great. They didn't let it phase them, and they won the game. They're the most dominant team, and they deserved it.
Yeah. Uh, I I do gotta say I'm surprised more Argentinian players didn't get a red card because Tagliafico was manhandling Lamine
Oh
Yamal
yeah,
on the left side.
that horror tackle. He didn't. It wasn't even a tackle. It was like straight up a football tackle.
Yeah, he grabbed him first and then he couldn't drag him down, so then he scissors kicks him and basically puts. He almost put he did put his cleats on the back of Lamine's foot and then dragged him down. And it was just a regular foul when it was like, how is that not a minimum of yellow?
Yeah, and that.
Because he in the second half, he also tried to incite him by like when they were going for a ball and it was off the field. He tried like dragging him, and it's like nothing.
Yeah, at that point, you just know it's exhaustion, and they didn't have an answer. They got frustrated with Spain's dominance, and yeah, just poor on Argentina's side. Again, I thought this final would be a little bit more competitive, but Argentina just
I
got
told you.
manhandled.
I told you the midfield.
And I said it too, like I told Carlos, like it was going to extra time. I'm like, yeah, no, Argentina lost this. One man down and going to extra times, yeah, it's over. I'm surprised they didn't score more goals. Again, they let off the pedal, and I think that was kind of a mistake because it could have gone bad, you know. Because again, they were just playing too far deep in their area, and I don't know, they were kind of giving up a lot of control of the ball. But it's a World Cup final for you.
Yeah, it was really embarrassing for Argentina for them to be held without a shot in the first 90 minutes. Like, no shot on target or off target in the first 90. Like, that's an embarrassment set for like the first 90 minutes.
Definitely is. It just shows what they weren't the whole World Cup. I mean, we kind of saw it coming too because they started off hot and they just slowly started playing bad, 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 bad. And finally, at the end, they had no answer to anything. The every game we kept saying, "Oh, this is Argentina's worst game. This is Argentina's worst game." No, this was Argentina's worst game. The final. That was just nothing. Before they were just running off pure passion, and now it was just you're just exhausted.
Yeah, and I think it happened against, like I said, the worst opponent. Because, like I said with Spain in the preview, like Spain is the type of team that will control the midfield and basically slowly choke you and choke the life out of you and makes you make mistakes. And with Argentina in that situation, they were already making mistakes beforehand, but with this, it made it every mistake like a bigger highlight because they had so few chances that once you made a mistake, it almost felt like, oh, that was it. I'm no longer gonna get the ball for like the next 30 minutes, and like it would affect their psyche.
Do you think Argentina had a better chance if it was France?
Uh, I don't know.
Like the France we just saw, because we saw how Spain dominated them. Do you think Argentina could have replicated that at all against France? Like it would have been an easier game for them. Maybe they underestimated. They probably thought too, like, oh, this isn't France. Like this isn't a powerhouse. It's Spain who has.
I think Argentina was uh, probably confident because, like we said, the Spain offense doesn't look good, and they're like, oh, we don't have to worry about that. But they were just so good defensively and midfield wise that that didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, with France, they're good offensively, but they're like their backline, like we said, does not look good at all, and especially in the third place game where Saliba came out with a back injury where he's gonna be out for a long time. If that happened in the final, that would definitely affect them. Um, and midfield wise, I feel like it would be more back and forth, but I still feel like we said, the tired legs, the game time, all of that would have caught up. Because if it's so back and forth, I don't think Argentina has the legs for that.
True. Oh man. But how would you rate this World Cup so far?
I feel like it was good. I feel like obviously most people or like anyone, the enjoyment comes from the initial stages because it's like that's a happy feel good moments. That's when like sometimes the best football is seen because it's like a little less pressure. It's still pressure, but it's less pressure than in the later rounds and knockout stages where it's life or death.
Mm-hmm.
Like as with the final we saw, that was very structured. There was very no nonsense. Like that's what usually happens in not in the later knockout stages. Like they can't go out and like play freely like in the early stages. So I think it was good in the beginning, and then it became proper like tactical football. But I think it was a good World Cup. There was a lot of controversy around it, so like that obviously takes it away from it, and it takes away from like the on-field product, which is what you never want to see.
Yeah, I think it's better than 2018 because again, I think still 2018 is probably the worst World Cup tactically because they were it was like during the time of very defensive football. But yeah, I think still 22 was better. Obviously, he probably had the better final when it came to like attacking football. I know you don't like the outcome of that World Cup, but I think attacking it was a lot better. This one again, like you said, it was very tactical. The final was just slowly like a death by a thousand cuts. That's how Spain played, and they worked out for them. You know, they exhausted Argentina and took the chance they got. And again, the chance this the guy I was rooting to play, Giovanni Simeone, he was fixing his socks instead of marking his man. So again, it just shows you like you can't lay your eye, you can't get out of focus. You have to focus the whole time playing this game because just that one mistake and it cost them the goal.
But earlier you said talking about Spain about how bright the future looks for them, especially with the young squad. But you could say this is the complete opposite for Argentina and how dark the future looks because, like you said, we've said this is an aging older squad that who's going to be on the next World Cup squad? Who's going to be on the next like future Argentina squads? Because the young generation sort of has been stalled for like the squads continuing this run and hasn't really brought up. Because if you look all around it, it's a very old squad, and who's like you try to think of who's going to replace them. There's not enough names right now. There has to be like a new generation has to pop up and like develop quickly for it.
Yeah, it definitely is. I know Messi more than I think this was probably Messi's last Argentina game, barring like what is it, farewell match. You know, I don't think Argentina. He plays for Argentina again. Scaloni looks like he's out of contract. He doesn't seem to be wanting to renew. And then the same thing with the AFA, the Federation for Argentina. They're in a lot of hot water for laundering money. So it's not looking good for them, especially like you said, the players too. So it's a lot of background and on the field because yeah, a lot of things got stalled for them. I think they're gonna lack not a striker because I think Julian Alvarez, but the midfield is gonna be weird. Same thing with the defense and even the goalie.
Yeah, Emi Martinez is like 34, 35, I want to say.
Yeah, he's in his mid 30s. Same thing with what's it called, Musso. I think he probably is goalkeeper.
He's 32.
Yeah.
He's 32.
So maybe for like the next Copa America, but even then for the World Cup, are you really gonna trust him? Especially because like in Atletico Madrid, I don't think he's gotten a move yet. Depends if Oblak leaves or not, but I don't know. I do have a conspiracy. Well, there's a kind of not really a conspiracy, but like a lot of Argentina players went to go play for Simeone, and I don't think that helped them out. Just because, yeah, you weren't really playing with too many Argentina players when Simeone was starting them, because there wasn't really too many, right? Like he had a bunch, but he wasn't starting so many. Musso he was forced to because Oblak was injured. Simeone, yes.
When DePaul was there, he would start almost always. Thiago Almada, he's a rotation. Like he would sometimes start, he'd come off the bench. It like depends. Who else? Molina starts for him.
He does, but again, it's sporadic depending on what he does. But yeah, they're gonna have to try to ship out more talent to Europe and try to get consistent playing time because there's Barco, there's Nico Paz, probably their best player at the moment. Ooh, again, didn't get any significant minutes. Probably the biggest mistake he's ever done. And especially in a match like this, if you want midfield control, play him.
Or even fresh legs to run.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. He could have easily played Messi as striker because, again, you know Messi's not going to run. 39, you want to save him for, like, the best attacking third. You could play, Julian Alvarez on the left side, and you could play Nico Paz on the right side, and then you have control right there when it comes to the midfield. Same thing with like Rodrigo De Paul. Like, why are you playing him? Play Paredes. He plays pretty good, barring the dumb yellow card. But
now they're gonna have to figure out more because of the FIFA's investigating the fight that after the match, and Paredes did get a red card. Same with Thiago Almada.
Yeah, and that's just them not knowing how to fucking lose.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's a good passing of the torch. We'll see how much Spain terrorizes Europe more because again, they're like the counter. They're the counter of Argentina. Everything for them is looking good. All their players are young. Like legit, I think if they take this squad So the next World Cup, again, same thing, same players and everything. There's, I think Lamine is still like what 23, 24. Pau Cubarsí 25, Pedri 26, 27. So it's gonna be it'll be insane. Like they
I
have
don't
this
know
squad
because
for at least two more World Cups.
I don't know because this is something that people were saying similarly to France in like 2018 and 2022. And look at what's happened. They just like they've stalled out.
Well, again, I think that's more of a coach that me and you hate.
I think it is also the coach, but also I felt like it was also France because of the coach and because of the FA because they let him stay. They stalled the squad because, like we said, their defense has fallen off drastically. Like we said, they're missing fullbacks. They're missing like a ball progressor in midfield, and like the ones that they could have gone away. Oh, you want funny enough? We're criticizing Digne. He's linked to PSG.
He's French, that's why. He's part of the.
Like that's
He played a World Cup, Jesse. He's gonna go.
insanity. But yeah, because Spain, I feel they're lacking. Like we said in forwards, and it didn't cost them this one in this tournament, but it could cost them potentially in the future if they don't develop someone. Because if not, like we said, they're going to rely on like Lamine. Nico Williams has been injury prone for the past 2 years.
And I don't see it stopping because the season's about to start. I think he needs surgery or
Preseason.
something.
Yeah,
And then the
so
guy
I
we were
wonder how
betting
that.
on, Samu, he kind of hasn't developed. Oh, he got an
He
ACL
also,
injury, right?
yeah, he also has injury problems.
So
He got an ACL injury, and we don't know. Some players come back and they're fully fine; it doesn't affect them. Some players just become injury prone because of it.
who is an up and coming striker for Spain? Like
Because
young striker.
Gonzalo Garcia is the only one I could think of.
And it's not a bad one. Again, if he develops, again, he has to leave. He has to leave
Yeah,
Real Madrid to get game
I'm
time.
trying to think in my head.
Looking Spain forwards.
Because the only other striker they had on their bench was like Borja Valero, the
El Panda.
I think
Borja
yeah
Iglesias.
yeah that one, and he's old too.
He is. He's kind of a locker room guy. You'd say in American football.
Yeah, like I can't think of any other young Spanish striker.
Players.
Unless they're counting on Marcelo Son,
Never know.
Enzo, because he's been doing good for like the Spanish under 17s and 18s, and maybe they expect that, but like I don't know,
I think Gonzalo
because I
Garcia
know
is a
that's
good
like
shout.
yeah.
Because Abel Ruiz was supposed to be something pretty good, but again, hasn't been performing at all.
Oh, he went to Chelsea from you guys.
Marc Gui, same thing.
Yeah,
Went to Chelsea. That says a lot.
yeah,
I'm looking at top strikers.
yeah. They don't have anyone.
Muriqui, el Pirata.
Yeah,
He's
also
close.
older.
Tony Martinez. What is that? He's a striker. He's born in 1997. Again, pretty old. He plays for Alaves. He scored what 14
Yeah,
goals.
he seems pretty young to me. 1997. That seems pretty. He's so young.
That's shocked, dude.
That seems pretty young. I don't know what you're talking about.
Juan Hernandez, is that Colombian? Yeah, again,
Yeah, like I don't have anyone.
Hugo Duro, born in 1999. But again, yeah, that's. I think they have time to develop them. It wouldn't be bad if they don't win the next Euro. Obviously, you just have to. You just won a
Well,
World Cup. Nothing. You don't expect them to win. Well, you kind of do.
I think the Euros can be hard because the target on their back is massive.
It is.
Everyone's gonna be gunning for them. Their football style is gonna be, studied like so much, and there's just gonna be so many counters for them that they're just gonna try like similar to like the Spain squad of old, like the 8, 08, 10 and 12 one. Like how the Brazil team that beat them, it was because they studied them so much, and then they're like, oh, we gotta follow them in a certain amount to like be able to stop their football, and like they like figured them out.
Yeah, that's true. Oyarzabal is 29 years old, so he's old.
33. Yeah.
Well, it depends. I think he could still. He could. I think he could go well for the Euro, but again, I think he has to leave Sociedad and go to a competitive team.
I don't think he leaves. I think he said that he's staying because he said so many offers, especially before his. Because right now is his prime to leave, and I think he just said. I think in an interview, I saw that he said, "I love living here. I'm from. I think because he's like from there. He's like the Basque Country is like one of the best regions in the world. It's so beautiful that I get paid well enough that I don't see a reason for me to leave."
Yeah, so it's gonna be difficult. He's a one man squad kind of guy. I'm looking at this. I think England is even more screwed when it comes to strikers.
Yeah, because Hurricane's like 34,
Yeah.
33.
Now
So
you
I don't think he makes sense.
you gotta rely on Ollie Watkins, who just went to Fenerbahce.
No, no, he's 30 as well.
Who's the next man up?
I'm trying to think of young
Ivan
English
Toney.
strikers. He's also like 30.
Man,
Young English strikers.
did you know John Stones is rumored to go to Arsenal?
Yeah, because of the Saliba injury. Because they're trying to go for Lacroix, the Crystal Palace one, but he's linked with Chelsea, and it said that he prefers Chelsea because he knows he'll start compared to Arsenal, where he'll still compete with like Hippocampi, Mosquera, and all that. So he might not be a for sure starter. And if he does start, he's only can be there until Saliba comes back, and then he's right in the bench. So he'd rather go to Chelsea, where he knows he'll start for sure, and he trusts Xabi Alonso more than Mikel Arteta.
I
That's
would
why
too.
also Morgan Rogers preferred Chelsea over Arsenal.
I would too. But man, it's been an insane World Cup. So many games, and then the next World Cup is just going to be even bigger. Which again, Spain is hosting. It's one of the host countries.
Spain, Portugal, and Morocco.
But the inaugural games
The
are going
first
to be
one's in Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay.
It's so weird. Why?
So they're only gonna have like I want to say 2 games in there,
Yeah.
and like Argentina and those, and then those teams immediately have to fly to like Spain and Portugal and like Morocco. Which I understand like Spain, Portugal, and Morocco because
Yeah,
they're right there
it's a
next to
region
each
right
other.
there.
Yeah, it's not like far. They probably traveled more in like between the Mexico, U.S., and Canada because the U.S. and like Mexico and like
It's a
such
big
vast
country.
like country.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that region I don't see any problem there. But yeah, having to fly from Argentina and like Uruguay and Paraguay to there, it's gonna be. If I'm the teams, I'm pissed.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know why they did that. I think they just did it to like. I think they probably did it for votes. Like Spain, Morocco, like the actual host countries, they did it to like getting those countries votes. Like, oh, we'll give you these 2 games. Just put our bid in.
Well, even worse, the CONMEBOL president said that it's confirmed the next one's gonna be a 60-man World Cup.
Oh yeah,
60-team World Cup.
this upcoming one. So
It's gonna be even bigger.
no, I don't want it.
Yeah, this one was how many? 48?
Yeah.
48, so 12 more teams, and this one was 109 matches, so this is going to be like,
Too many.
yeah.
I get it's a World Cup, but again, you want to make it competitive because I think adding more teams just makes it less competitive. Because teams aren't sweating to try to play qualifiers great. You don't have to have great form. You just know you're kind of gonna get in.
I know there was a lot of complaint or like a lot of worry about this World Cup being lower in competition, and luckily it wasn't so because a lot of the smaller teams that everyone were counting out showed out and like had really good performances. But if you dilute it even more by adding 12 more teams, there's no way it's not going to be.
At that point, you should just make it. I think Huicho said it that no more group matches, just straight up knockout with single round eliminations. Just immediately in a ranking and going into a knockout stage. I think that would make it a little bit better to not diminish the competition. At this point, you are diminishing it Because I mean, the third place matches, I think they were it was a good. It was a good middle ground because you thought there would be like more teams tying, but now people were like going out to try to get the best spot possible. But with what is it,
What?
104 teams?
109 games,
Like
and then that's not what's 12 more teams. So like
you're just
it's not 12
rewarding
more games.
mediocrity, bro.
Yeah. So I don't know.
The things they do for money, Jesse.
Team Fantino trying to get Italy in.
That's the only reason.
Oh, speaking of Italy, apparently they're going all out trying to get Pep to become the national head coach.
I don't think he will do it. They're gonna have to pay. They're gonna have to give him Sicily for him to do it.
Crazy.
Like instead of actually hiring Thiago Motta, a good Italian coach. Cause who someone got named for like the president of the Italian Federation, was it Maldini? Or like he got named project of like to come up with the project for this upcoming World Cup. But again, you don't have to come up with the project. You're guaranteed to go in.
Italian.
But just so we could see him get knocked out by Bosnia and Herzegovina again. That'll be funny.
Trying to see.
Diminishing, bro. Diminishing.
It's Maldini. At least I think so.
He's the head of it, right?
Yeah, because they got a picture of him.
No,
And I don't want to read all of it.
they have to just do what Liga MX is doing. And again, Liga MX is probably not the best example, but like they have to just start using their Italian players, bro. That's all it is. They just keep recycling the same coaches, same ideas. They're using the same players, outsourcing players. So it just
It's funny you say Liga MX because they're doing the exact same thing of where they recycle the 10 coaches.
Yeah.
They just he got fired. I fired my coach. Let me get him, and then you get my old one. And it's just like same thing. And then also just the recruitment of like all these older players that like just give your young players a chance.
because Serie A is becoming what MLS is doing, which is like they're taking older players, like at the end of their career, to like try to make it competitive. Well, not competitive, but like sell shirts. They want to make money, but because I think Kevin De Bruyne is trying to force his exit out of Napoli too.
Yeah, because he was upset of the way Antonio Conte played, and then they fired him, right, Napoli?
Mm-hmm.
And now he's trying to see which coach comes in because if it's a similar situation that he'd rather just leave.
Who's the Juventus coach? Spalletti.
Yes,
Funny.
is it the same guy that tattooed Napoli on him?
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen him, but they're like on a preseason right now, and he's just using straight up long sleeve shirts because he has the tattoo on his left forearm or his right forearm,
Yeah.
and it's like 90-degree weather. He has no choice.
He also said that he would never coach another Serie A team besides.
Money talks, dude. Money talks.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
Any closing comments? I don't really have anything else to talk about. I mean, we could get into preseason a little bit. I think in probably the next episode because there's really not much going on at the moment. Transfer season's upon us.
Yeah, pretty soon. I think next week we're gonna start getting all these crazy rumors. But Man, you lost to Wrexham.
Is this it, dude? Is this it? The interim coach? The interim coach curse?
The tag is off, so it's like he's no longer interim. He's head coach.
He has no pressure, Jesse. He has no pressure. And now
he had no pressure. Now he has pressure.
Everything blows
And then they also announced the new $2 billion stadium.
They it's funny. They get into Champions League and they just start spending a lot of money again. Well, they've always have, but even more now. A $2 billion investment. By him. Tottenham. I like what they're doing. They're buying all the players I actually like. They're getting Schlotterlup from Benfica. They're gonna try to buy him for 40 million.
I saw them trying to buy, but I thought who was it? What's your coach? Marco
Serbi? Marco Rose?
No, from Benfica.
Marco Silva?
Yeah. I think he's tried to block it. I thought he blocked it. He said he doesn't want to sell him, that he wants to keep him for another year.
I don't know, but he might force it because I know there's like rumors that he wants to leave too. So, and it'll be in his benefit to go to a competitive league. It wouldn't be bad. Obviously, Premier League's not the best choice, but with a coach like Zerbi, I think he'll do great things.
But yeah, I think Spurs, not that they've finally given a good coach the direction, and I think the Zerbi's just going for like players that he likes, and he's like, yeah, these are actually good players that we should have, not like these other players. You know who I'm talking about?
How long do you give it until Zerbi fights with the management?
I give it because he's like he's a short term coach. He's like Conte. He's 2 years and he's gone.
Yeah.
I think he lasts like a year and a half. I think he lasts the full 1 year because I think Spurs can't go through like the changing of the guard so soon, or like not guard, but like changing of coaches. Because after the mistake they did of letting Ange go and then going with Thomas Frank, and then just like who else did they got?
Tudor,
Tudor.
and then Zerbi at the end.
Yeah, they can't go through that again, or else the fans will literally revolt after they've almost been relegated and they were just saved because West Ham is West Ham.
Man, I can't wait for club football to start.
But we
But
got about a month, a little less than a month, I want to say.
yeah, we got about a month. But I'm not excited because again, a lot of Barcelona players won the World Cup final, but then again, Barcelona players played the World Cup final and made it that far in the tournament. So there's gonna be a lot of tired legs. Hopefully, the players get the rest they need. I know Lamine Yamal is probably the most important one just because tired legs. Pedri was coming off sub, and then I think Dani Olmo. In my opinion, I think he's gonna leave.
Well, there's just still a lot of transfers to be done with Barca because Ferran Torres is linked with PSG, moved away, and then
He guaranteed
Dani
us
Olmo's
20 more
also,
million, Jesse.
yeah, and then Dani Olmo's also linked to leave, and then there's still the Araujo situation if he leaves.
The Rooney
Jules Kounde
Barchi.
still on the market. Yeah, there's a lot of guys Barca has been linked to with leaving, especially they need to because of the whole roof situation setting them back a lot. So before they can make any transfers, they need to sell players because they still haven't even replaced Lewandowski.
No, they haven't. Apparently, things are getting serious for Julian Araujo. But honestly, they should just give up on it if he like Athletic Madrid keeps saying. Again, rumors that things are getting serious.
Oh
But no. Again, quotations.
no, you said Julian Araujo, and I
Oh
was
no,
like
Julian
Julian.
Alvarez.
Yeah, yeah. I
No,
was
no.
like Julian.
Made up a new player, dude. Oh, isn't Julian Araujo the Mexican right back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like,
No, no, no.
what?
Julian Alvarez. So there's a bunch of rumors, but I think they should just give up on the race if it like they don't get a. Well, I mean they have been getting concrete answers. The president of Atletico Madrid keeps saying that they're not going to sell him. So move on.
Yeah, and I think it's set them back, especially with other targets that could be a potentially like at that same caliber, all being like moved away. Because I know like Junior Krupi, he's been linked with Arsenal and Spurs, and like I think also like a couple other clubs, and that set them back in like negotiation and like a couple other players. I think the only like what free agents is Lahirovic. There's someone else. Harry, they could go for Harry Kane.
Stay with it, bro. Stay in England. I mean in Germany.
Same thing. Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I
They've
don't know.
also been linked to Jokeres, which in my opinion don't get him. Please. For the love of God, I'll send you 20. I'll upgrade my Spotify account for you guys not to get him.
I don't know. Maybe he'll do better in Barca.
Maybe with his physical presence. Maybe in La Liga he'll do better, but in the Champions League, oh god.
Well, remember he needs like to get creative chances made for him,
Yeah,
and we know in Arsenal there's no creative chances made for anyone.
they're
There's no
literally
chances
having
at
him.
all.
They're having him run from the halfway line and chase the ball all the way down. Like that man's a fridge, bro. You cannot make him run that much.
Yeah, so maybe he'll do better in a club like Barca where he gets chances. But yeah,
But I forgot who they want. Then there's also been a link of like Gavi leaving
yeah, I've
uh,
seen that.
for Enzo Fernandez plus cash. Which at this point, after what Enzo Fernandez did, keep him away from my club. Let him stay at Chelsea.
It's funny because at first everyone was like linked with him. And it just steadily got in like less clubs, and desirable. And like Chelsea now just wants to sell him, but no one.
I know he did that to himself. To be honest, he had a great game against England. I think that was his high, and then yeah, the final he threw everything away. It just showed his lack of concentration. Because again, why would you want a player that does that in a final?
And then what's even worse, he's going to England, and they just hate him over there right now.
I know, for knocking him out.
Well, no, because of what he was doing afterwards.
True. So sucks to be Enzo. McAllister, he had a horrible World Cup, so.
He's had a horrible season overall because he was bad for Liverpool.
But not Scaloni, keep him. Stick him there. Because he has that champion's pedigree.
Oh, and Bastoni's linked with Ali.
Yeah, he's got to leave, dude. He's got to get good PR. There's a horrible, horrible accusation against him. Again, Italian players, dude, they're just imploding.
I still can't get over the what's his name?
The Ruggeri thing.
Yeah, dude, that one was.
It's OD. If you haven't looked look it up. We can't really talk about it because it's so stupid what he did.
I'm the first person in my bloodline to read something like that.
He's disgusting, bro. He's disgusting.
Like how do you even like what?
No wonder he had like an obsession with Lamine Yamal because he kept posting one after every game. Like they had against him.
Yeah, man.
But
yeah,
that does it, dude. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you guys think about the World Cup final. What do you guys think of the overall World Cup? Spain, what they had to do was incredible. They had to knock out Ronaldo, then they knocked out France, and then they ultimately knocked out Messi. I don't say Lamine did, I say the whole squad did, because that's what they had to do. So they went through pretty much all of football heritage. It's incredible. But make sure to like and subscribe. Peace.
peace.